Yeah. Thank you, Sheriff. Oh, no, not yet. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
It's Monday, August the 28th, 2023 at 10 a.m. I'll make a motion that the special meeting of the Navarro County Commissioners Court come to order. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And we are in session. I ask everyone to please stand for opening prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'll ask Commissioner Brewer to lead us in prayer today, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the opportunity of serving you. Thank you for the opportunity of serving this county. And thank you for each person that's here. Pray that you bless them, keep them safe today as they leave this place, and help us as we make the decisions for the county. Give us wisdom and insight that we might do what's best and what to do, and to do things that are honorable to you. Go with us now. Forgive us where we failed you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Sounded good.
Good.
Got a crowd singing
Like acapella. Well, okie dokie. This stuff is the public comments, and Jeremy Cobb. There you are, sir. Yeah, probably. Try not.
Oh, it's easier said than done.
I know. That's good.
Well, not most of y'all up there, some of y'all don't personally. My name is Jeremy Cobb. I'm a advanced certified firefighter by the state of Texas, along with instructor 1, officer 1, advanced fire investigator, driver operator, and certain other specialty certifications. I'd like to talk to y'all today about the fire marshal's office in this county. I've been trying for a while to get it up and going, get everything I need to come before y'all, but there's a lot of things that are, which is understandable, pushback and worry and all that. So I watched the last county meeting or court session, and there were some things in that were said that I've known to be wrong. I believe it was Mr. Grant that said the deputy constable could go out and do the occupancy in the county. Is that right?
That's what I was told by the Office of Emergency Management.
Okay.
Depending on what we were asking them to do. Exactly.
Well, an occupancy load for any building has to be done by the fire marshal. If we don't have one, a county county constable or county deputy can't go to it. We have to go to the state fire marshal and request that. Also, bro, I'd like to give you all this. My copier only had enough ink for one, sorry. But that is the state government code for, starting fire marshal's office, volunteer fire departments, and some other stuff in there. I believe we need this office, and I believe it needs to be separate than any other office in the county. Being a fire marshal for this county is going to be a big task. I don't believe it should be paired with any other job. You can use this office as your liaison between the volunteers. You can use it for be able to bring the county money. Because we can go out and do inspections in the county. We can write all the burn ban violations, so we can free up the county deputies so they can be on patrol. The burn bans, enforcement, building enforcement. We can handle all the training for the volunteers if need be. I mean, we can do a lot of stuff if we're given a chance. I know I'm also on Corbett Volunteer Fire Department. I'm the captain and the training officer. I know we get a monthly stipend from the county. I believe it's what, $200 a truck. Remember? How many of y'all have went out to your volunteers in your districts and inspected those fires? I know I haven't in a long time seen anybody. We need somebody who is a firefighter, who knows the truck, who knows what type of hose it's got to have on it, what type of pump, the volume of the pump, amount of hose, nozzle, gear, all the stuff that goes on with any call they respond to. I mean, I'm sure all y'all have maintainers in your districts. You wouldn't want me coming in inspecting your maintainer. I break it. I don't want a cop coming in inspecting my fire trucks. They put donuts all over. This is a big thing to me. It means a lot because I've lived in this county. I've seen this county grow. I've seen people die in this county. If we wait on the state fire marshal, they have hours to days to get on scene when we call them. It doesn't my family that's unacceptable. So I cannot respond. Unacceptable to me. I want somebody there, possibly that I know, that I can trust. Hey, this is Fire Marshal Grant. I know him. I've known him for years. He's going to do everything he can. And when he comes to me and tells me something, I'm going to believe him. Some state guy come in. Is he really going to investigate it like it's his family? Because that's what I would do. The fire marshal's office, I would also like to be able to take on the schools. Because I don't believe a lot of our kids outside CISD are getting fire money, are getting training, stop, drop, and roll, besides the little volunteers that come out that don't have enough money to buy any kind of educational materials. Because everything's tight right now. We understand that. But I would like to be able to do fire drills, go in on fire months, maybe rent the smokehouse from Force County Fire, take it out there and teach our young ones who aren't in the school district with a paid fire department what they need to know if their house catches fire.
You're almost at 4 minutes. We normally allow 3.
I'm sorry.
All right. So you want to sum up real quick? Well,
this department is going to be a busy department. I can guarantee you that. It's going to quickly grow to need more than one person. We can do anything and everything has to do with fire for this county. We don't need to be picking up tires or trash when a call comes in because time is at the end. Thank you.
thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Okay, doke. Linda Denning.
I'm gonna defer my 3 minutes to John Teal.
Oh, okay. Okay. John's last on the list, I think.
Well, I didn't realize he could strike me off that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take you right now.
I want to address the decision that was made to stop dispatching the volunteer fire departments to medical calls. We all understand, and I think a lot of people in this room are here because of us addressing the commissioner on this, because we feel very, very passionate about this. And we understand there's underlying reasons, whether it's contracts or it's indemnification or whatever it is for the county. But this decision directly affects me. It affects my family. It affects my friends. It affects my loved ones. And it affects everyone who drives on a Navarro County road, whether they're from here or not. And I just have to ask you guys, is it worth one human life? I'll ask you that. Because volunteer fire departments are not all created equal. Some are crackerjack, some are top notch, have lots of certified guys, great equipment. Some maybe not so much. And that's not the point. The point is, if you have a loved one, we'll just take the case of a car accident. That's an easy one to talk about, or I say it easy. If you have a loved one who's in a car accident and out on the road, and they're laying there, and let's just say they're bleeding out. And I'll give the county where we live, out at the lake, 15 minutes on a good day to get there with an ambulance. Or DPS, maybe they're off somewhere else, who knows? Sheriff's deputies, we know that we're thin and there's not very many of them. You don't see them around like you used to as much. But what if there's a volunteer fire department guy 5 minutes away? You know, if he's trained and he has equipment, maybe he has an AED, maybe he has, you know, he's working on his EMT training, and he's able to give expert first aid and save a life. That's what we're talking about. And if it's a department where maybe the guys are not as trained, not as equipped, I mean, they can handle traffic control. They can put on a tourniquet and save someone that's bleeding out on the road because the county would not dispatch a volunteer fireman who's maybe 5 minutes away. So this person could be your loved one. It could be your spouse. We all travel to Navarro County Road. You guys do. You drive around and look at stuff all the time. What if it's you? And then, you know, there's just a lot of examples we could discuss about this. I could get real passionate. I could try to jerk tears and all that. But that's not the point. The point is that we are here as concerned citizens. We did a petition. There's 390 signatures on there. There's some duplicates that have Linda pared down to a total of 390 signatures. And that was our first foray to try to generate support and awareness in the county about this issue, because it affects us. It directly affects us. I'll sign it. I'm sorry? I'll sign it.
You'll sign it.
We'll keep going. But there's lots of examples. I love, you know, you guys know that our volunteer fire departments around the lake, we raise money for. And I've had guys come to me and show me where they were able to buy cordless jaws of life. Never had them in their department, worked hundreds of car wrecks. And he has jaws of life now, and he can extricate a person who may be dying. He's trained to use them. He's a volunteer. He's giving his time. But yet the county will not dispatch him out because there's some issue that, and I'm trying to be as kind as I can, that you guys have not worked out. And there are people that may die, and this endangers us. We recently had an instance at the lake where a gentleman had a heart attack in his backyard. He was relatively new to the lake, and he died. Now, I'm not saying I'm not juxtaposing our subject over this, but I'm just saying use this as food for thought. What if he had the heart attack, and I've had it? I've been careful out of this place. So what if he had a heart attack and he's laying there, and maybe he is alive, hanging on alive? We dispatch 911. Let's give him 15 minutes to get out to Arrowhead. That would be fast. That would be real fast. And there's volunteer fire departments in Arrowhead, volunteer firefighters that are equipped, that have AEDs in their car. And they're 3 minutes away. And we're going to wait 15, 20 minutes for medical service. Doesn't make sense, guys. It's endangering lives in our county. And I think our county is better than this. I don't know if there's fighting or arguing going on. I really don't care. But you guys could work this out. You guys are professional. Our county has been a great place to live for almost 40 years that I've lived here. And so why are we endangering the people that come to our county that live here? I have a daughter that lives in Austin. One of our daughters, Julie, our daughter, lives in Austin. And I just love to see her. I just can't wait to see her. And her driving from Austin across to Navarro County, you know, I mean, we can go on and on with this. But I just think that you guys can work this situation out for the good of our county, for the good of our people, because we all are voters. You know, we all benefit from this county. We all contribute to this county. And at the lake, we pay, well, anybody who has a property that's worth a lot pays a lot of taxes, no matter what part of the county you're in. But most people, and then one more thing I'll say, it's been said that if you have an emergency and you're in this situation, you need to tell the dispatcher to dial 911. I mean, when you dial 911, to tell the dispatcher you want the VFDs sent out. Yeah, right, guys. You know, has anybody ever had a concussion in this room? Has anybody ever hit their head and been knocked out? And what about the people who are driving in, you know, through our county? They don't know what's going on. They don't know anything about VFDs. They know 911 though. And we're not serving them up the best that we could. So what I'm going to say, the last thing I'm going to say is that I think that this borders on a reckless path by the county, and it endangers the lives of our citizens and those who've been to visit our county. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. John, what was your last name?
Teal, T-E-E-L.
Okay. Either Bob or Rob. Griffin?
Griffin, and he took care of it for me.
All right, thank you. Dan Wilkie.
Same thing.
All right, thank you, Dan. Scotty Barnes.
Well, I didn't know everybody was going to talk about this, but I'm going to branch off into a different medical situation. I want to look back at COVID. When COVID started. Oh, first of all, I want to ask, why do you always have a special meeting when you always have a meeting?
The second meeting is called special by the state.
Thank you.
It ain't us, okay?
Anyway, so I wanted to look back. Okay.
We're doing what we're told to do.
Good. I want to tell you. All right. So I'm not a doctor, but I can read, and I did a lot of research. So starting in 2020, I took a Word document, and every time I read an article, I put the link. You know, in case I need to get back to it. I watched an hour interview with frontline doctors. I put a link. I ended up with more, and every now and then I did put an article in there. I ended up with probably over 1,500 pages. So I have done my research. COVID was at my age, and I'm 70. So I had a 94% chance of recovery from COVID. If people got medical help, like you would do with the flu, go home, bed rest, aspirin, you know, fluids, you could survive that. They were said no treatment until you're sick enough to go to the hospital. Then we're going to give you remdesivir, which we know will kill you, and put you on an ventilator. So what I'm saying is it's going to come around, because viruses weaken, they come around. We've had flu forever. And every year before COVID, we had like 87,000 deaths in the country. We didn't freak out. Oh my God, it's flu season. And so I want you to everybody to calm down and say, okay, maybe there's another strain of COVID coming around. It's not as viral. And they can't even isolate a COVID strand. Because I had a guy who has a lab, and he said, hey, send me a strand so I can calibrate my machines. They said, we can't send you one. There was a court case, they couldn't prove that there was any kind of a COVID strand. So it's ridiculous to shut down the county, the United States, the states for something that's going to come around all the time. We cannot afford this. We can't afford this in the increase in drug abuse, alcohol abuse, suicides, the kids losing their schooling that they need. If you're sick, stay home. Wash your hands, do hand sanitizer. And if you're sick, stay at home. If you have to get out, you wear a mask. Then I know I need to stay away from you. And we can all get our things together here. The swabs, had to have surgery and I went to 7 different places to try to find a swab made in America. No, you can't. And you know what these swabs say? On the outside of the swab, you'll find one. It says it contains EO. EO is ethylene oxide. This is an industrial toilet cleaner. Oh, well, good. Let me stick that up close to my brain. I think this is real safe. And having to do this to go to work every day, every week, whatever. No, this is ridiculous. I want you to help the children, help the people who go to work, help the businesses stay in business, trust people to do what they need to do to stay well, to stay away from other people. And the county needs to do their jobs of taking care of the jails, taking care of the roads, taking care of everything. But I know personally, you're not going to get the fault for this, but I contacted my commissioner and I said, they're doing a hospital thing every single day. We're locked down. Nobody can go anywhere. Are you on that call every day? He's never been on that call. Were y'all on that call? Thank you. Thank you. I mean, if you're locking us down, huh?
Every time it was made.
If you're locking us down, I expected you better have been, because, you know, if you're locking us down, you better be paying attention to what's going on. So trust the people. They're going to come around. And let me tell you, next year, when it's an election year, oh, it's going to be a horrible COVID thing. Oh, this one is going to kill everybody unless we stay home and do mail-in ballots. Okay. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. So thank you for the time. And I know I took extra excuse.
Thank you, Dottie. Susan, hey.
So I'm here about a completely different issue. But Judge, County Commissioners, you have the most difficult job. I have like the second most difficult job, right? So I represent one of 5 people who represent 25,000 people in the city of Corsicana, and you represent 52,000 people in the county. You also represent the same 25,000 people that I'm one of the people that represents them. And I've come to you to talk about EMS. I know that we've had conversations, like individually we'll have conversations. It's against the law for me to go sell a deal to anybody else. I think we're all in the right spot and the right place. And the city provides, or the city contracts through Allegiance to provide ambulance service for the county. And there is a cost associated with that. We don't charge you the cost associated with housing within our fire departments, but there is a cost associated with keeping the higher road on the negotiation scam of, and I am going to call it a scam, because if we own the ambulances, and that means the city and the county own them together, then Allegiance can't ever come in and say, well, now you have to pay $500,000. And I'm just making up that number. Okay. It is imperative that you be our partner in this. If you don't want to be the partner, I understand. And then we can work on a plan to make it where you are your own partner in the county and you create your own partner with Allegiance. The cost is the cost. And so I understand the last ambulance, and a lot of people in the room don't understand. The city of Corsicana still maintains ownership of the ambulances. Allegiance, which provides the ambulance service, then in turn provides the maintenance. There is one ambulance that is still completely city owned. And some of the conversations that I've had is, well, that ambulance was only pulled out, can I round the numbers, guys? On 70 calls, 20 calls went to the county and 50 went to the city. So then we should only have to pay 20% of it, or we should only have to pay 40% of it, or what with that percentage. The fact is, the question we're not asking is, where were the other ambulances? So it's hard to get to a number of what we think is right. And I applaud Commissioner Grant for just telling me what a number he thought was right and he thought was fair. I'd also like for you to address the fact that we have to have people on staff who oversee Allegiance. And I'd like you to pay for part of that. And I get it if you don't want to, and I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be upset. I think it's what's fair, because you 5 represent me. Your territory doesn't start at the city limits and goes out to the county limits. You get it from the middle of town, from this courthouse, all the way to the county line. And I want y'all to start representing me, and I know you do, because you got the hardest job in the world, because everybody comes to you with this. Here's your checkbook, can you sign it for me? I'm the state, I'm the city, and this is how much you owe us. But I think at once, y'all need to recognize you represent 25,000 people in the city of Corsicana, and I pay my taxes, just like everybody else in this room. And John, I may not pay more than you. but I pay city and county. And for my county taxes, now I do get the judicial system and I get the legal system here. And that's about 70% of your budget. But I'm asking you to work with us and also represent the other 25,000 people in your community. And I know it's not going to be hard, and I want to get a notice later today, and then we're going to have to talk about it at the city, and it's going to be difficult. I want to be your partner. We want to be your partner. And if we got to sit down and break these numbers down again, I think it's 50%. Jason thinks 40% is fair. I could probably go with 40%, Jason. I'm telling you. But I'd like a little bit of overhead, no record storage. I know that's an issue. Okay. But I mean, that's what you have to pay for. It costs something to provide those services. And the way I always try to make sense to people is, so Navarro College, and I'm gonna pick on Dr. Fagan, he'll be okay with it. Dr. Fagan's salary is divided amongst all the campuses, right? Based on hours of instruction. Because Corsicana and us, because we're the only ones who pay the taxes, right? All of us in this room pay taxes for Navarro College. Mm-hmm. But Waxahachie needs to be paying for part of Dr. Fagan's salary, needs to be paying part of payroll. But I didn't even want to go that far. I have to have some oversight. If there's something we can do on that, that's great. If not, I appreciate what you do, and I'm trying not to be here with y'all like a checkbook so y'all can sign it for me. Thank you. I know it's difficult, and it's a hard season, and everybody's asking for money. So good luck. I will most likely agree with what you do, but please take it into consideration. Because remember, there's 25,000 people I don't think y'all think about all the time. Because you don't fix my roads, but you fix the roads that are around. So thank you very much. I appreciate you too.
Thank you, Susan. All right, we ran out of people. That's it. We will move on to our consent agenda, item 5 through 10. If we can take off any one or all of them and talk about them if we want to, but these are just normally occurring things that with the consent agenda we could approve them as a whole. So if there is no reason to take one up and talk about it, or however many you guys might want to talk about, I'd ask for a motion to accept the consent agenda as a whole.
I make a motion we accept the consent agenda as a whole. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Brewer, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, now regular agenda, item 11, consideration of burn ban. Please don't burn anything. I don't care what it is. If you smoke, first of all, the smoking is going to kill you. Maybe a while, but it's going to kill you. But the main thing is putting out those ashes. Step on them, pour some water on them. You could do something else on them and also make them quit being a flame or the potential for a flame. I had a court case recently on a situation that happened a year ago wherein a young man went out to the burn barrel and set it on fire. Okay. Now, don't know the extent where they had a screen on top, no screen on top, but that fire got away. It got in the yard and it spread to the neighbor's yard and burned up about 15 classic vehicles. Now, that amount of money of what the potential is for classics restored is just unbelievable. But at any rate, things can happen. And it's just not a good idea to be up burning anything right now. Please reiterate that in the paper.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right. Any action on the burn ban, gentlemen? Because it is on right now. Still.
No action.
No action. Thank you.
And the governor accelerated it.
Expand on that. What does he say?
The governor has accelerated the burn ban too critical. So that includes like no welding, no burn barrels, no nothing. Because the worst grass fire I ever saw was mine. When we first moved to the country and my wife learned not to put aerosols in the burn barrel. So that was back in 1980. But you know what, I learned on one thing, do not do that. But I was real proud when Blooming Grove showed up to put it out. I made a generous donation to them for coming to my aid. But guys, it happens so quick, and I've been welding without a burn ban on H braces and building gates and different things, and I look down, my place is on fire. You know what I mean? It's just normal. So now, this little bit of rain we got yesterday is nothing. So please be careful.
All right, thank you, sir. Item number 12 is the public hearing on the 2023-24 County Clerk's Archival Plan. Sherry?
This is the money that the state allows us to collect on certain like documents, and it can only be used to archive my old stuff. Take care of it, can't be used for anything else. And every year it says I have to prepare a plan, present it to y'all. And this year what I want to do is to go back on Commissioner Court minutes. A lot of them are in there, but a lot of them are not searchable. And that's something I want to be able to put in grass fire or whatever, and they'll be able to pull it up. So that's my plan for this year.
Okay, this is a public hearing on that, and anybody want to talk, ask questions about that archival plan, why we do it, how we do it, blah, blah, blah.
It was started back in 2005, and it was $5. It's going up to $10 now. We can only charge it on certain items.
Right.
Oh, for us to ask for something, $5, $10?
No, like when you file a deed with me, $5. Well, actually $10 goes to my archive.
Oh, okay.
Certain, only can do on certain things. No.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Very well, I'm gonna close that public hearing. Go to item 13, which is consideration of approving County Clerk's 2023 and 24 archival plan.
I move that we approve the County Clerk's 2023 archival plan by Sherry Dowd.
Second.
That's you, Mr. Perry.
Yes, sir.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 14 is public hearing on the tax rate. And that is open at this time. Anybody want to ask questions or complain, gripe, do whatever?
I'll ask them because it's open.
Okay.
What was last year's tax rate, sir?
I don't know exactly what it was. Gentlemen, y'all.
51.28.
Yeah, 5-1.
5.73.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, need to ask her back there so we know it's right. Anybody else?
What's gonna be this year?
We're about to get there. Okay, there's nothing else. I'm gonna close that public hearing on the tax rate. Item 15 is the public hearing for the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget. And so that is open. Anybody want to talk about the budget, what we're doing, why we're doing, how we're doing, so on? Okie dokie.
One more thing, is there across the board raise for everybody, or is it?
She's answering your question. Yeah, not much. It's not even cost of living rate. We don't have enough money to even give that, but we're giving something for employees.
Every county employee?
Yeah.
Yes.
Except us.
Except us.
Except
We're not taking it.
we're not taking it.
Thank y'all.
Budget, all right, closing the public hearing on the budget. Number 16 is consideration of approving the adoption of the fiscal year 2023-24 budget.
Make a motion that we adopt the budget for the 23-24 fiscal year.
Second.
Sure, does this have to be record vote? Or is it just on the
Budget.
actual,
I think it's on the tax rate.
just the tax rate set? Okay. All right, motion's been made by Commissioner Brewer, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 17 is consideration of approving the adoption of the 2023 tax rate of 0.4329 per $100 of taxable evaluation. And this is where I need to read the statement. I believe this year's proposed tax rate exceeds the no new revenue tax rate. The vote on the ordinance, resolution, or order setting the tax rate must be a record vote, and 60% of the governing body must vote in favor of the adoption of the tax rate. A motion to adopt the ordinance, resolution, or other order must be made in the following form. And that is, I move, and I'm going to just say that's me that's saying this, I'm making this motion, I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.4329, which is effectively a 2.51% increase in the tax rate. Okay. Do I have a second? Somebody?
I'll second that.
Motion made by Judge Davenport, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. All right, record vote. Commissioner Grant?
And it's my understanding that this being down from what it was last year on $300,000 home, this is going to bring the taxes down to about $255. The way I understand it. And while we have such a big crowd here, I want to take just a second to,
Sure.
to say some stuff because they can go out and pass this around to their friends and neighbors. You know, this is the hardest part of the job for us. It's extremely difficult because you want to do everything that everybody wants to do in the county, the department heads and the officials, but you can't always because we get hit so much with the mandate from the state. But our first responsibility, of course, is to our taxpayers and our employees because we need the employees to wait on the taxpayers, and we don't want the taxpayers to lose services or have to lay people off or anything, which right now, you know, it's hard to get anybody to even work. We're trying to do what we can to keep the employees that we have here, keep them from leaving and going somewhere else, and, you know, recruiting and replacing the ones that do. And some of them are major deals. Like, for instance, right now, our sheriff is having a tough time over there at the sheriff department. He's 7 people down on patrol. That's a shift. 1 or 2 more people leave, and then we have a problem there. I believe he's a 6 short in the jail, 7 on patrol, a dispatcher short, and 2 courthouse security people short. And he needs help. I mean, we got to get people in there for him because y'all don't want to dial 911 and nobody show up. You know, and it's critical. But it's things like that y'all may not be aware of that make these decisions tough. Some of the state mandates we get, like we got one this year where we used to pay jurors $6 to show up for jury duty. Well, now it's 20 for everybody that shows up. You get picked, it's 58
per day.
Per day for every juror that shows up. Now that doesn't sound like a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of money and a lot of people. And that's just one example I can think of right now. But you know, the cost of the indigent defense attorneys, which everybody that gets arrested in Navarro County is indigent. You got to pay for their attorneys. We can't get court reporters in here because we can't pay them enough money. Now we have to provide interpreters for every court proceeding, divorce, child custody, criminal, whatever it is. The inmates over there have to have 24/7 access to mental health and doctors. And it's, you know, the stuff that all this, and now all of them have, since the Uvalde deal, all of them at the sheriff's office now have to be trained, have to go to training for school shootings. I mean, it's just, every year when budget rolls around, we get a note from Austin, hey, y'all need to start doing this now. We're not going to give you the money. And it's hard. I mean, it's tough to keep it down as much as we do. It's amazing. And I want to thank our auditor and all of our elected officials who have tightened it up as much as they possibly can. And for us to be able to drop it as much as we did is awesome. It would have been great to do it even more, but to drop it at all is a miracle. You know, if I get to October 1st with the budget I have from last year, it is going to be a miracle because we use every bit of it. And you know, if y'all belong to any groups or organizations or anything like that, and y'all really want to hear some good stuff, holler at me and let me come speak to you, and I'll enlighten you on some things. It'll blow your mind. It'll make you mad, but it'll open your eyes to some stuff. But anyway, I've got one question.
Before you cast your vote, let me finish reading all this. This year's levy to fund maintenance and operations expenditures exceeds last year's maintenance and operations tax levy. The following statements must be included in the ordinance, resolution, or order setting this year's tax rate. The statements must be in larger type than the type used in any other portion of the document. So here's the first one of those, all caps. This tax rate will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate. Second sentence, same, all caps. The tax rate will effectively be raised by 2.04% and will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a $100,000 home by approximately $81.70. Anybody got $100,000 home? After the evaluations that were done by, anyway.
I got an outhouse that's better than that.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Read that last number.
It's a negative.
That's a negative.
That's a negative. I'm sorry, it is. It's got a dash in
Say it
there.
out loud.
About to say,
All right, negative $81.70.
It's going down.
I was about to say,
that's
you
good.
just made me look like a liar.
Well, I was wondering how lower tax rate made things go up. The new math.
Hey, it's happened before. Guarantee you, it's been weird. This year's levy to fund maintenance and operations expenditures exceeds last year's maintenance and operations tax levy. The following statements must be included in the ordinance in the same song and dance, all caps. Navarro County adopted a tax rate that will raise more taxes for maintenance and operations than last year's tax rate. The tax rate effectively will be raised by 2.04%. What was the other one up there? Oh, that was, yeah, I see. And will raise taxes for maintenance and operations on a $100,000 home by approximately a negative $81.70. Okay. Now, how do you vote on this, Commissioner Grant?
Hey, yay or hey? What is it?
Either one.
Aye.
That's fine. Okay, so that's gonna be Grant. All right. Commissioner Perry?
Aye.
Perry, aye. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Brewer?
Aye.
County Judge votes aye as well. So that passes. Number 18 is Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service to present County Cleanup Day, State Roundup, and Summer Program updates. And those of you that might need to go somewhere, if you do need to, if you got other plans or whatever, we're not making you stay, okay? But anyway, just want to let you know that in case you needed to go.
And how we effectively raise more revenue with a lower tax rate, we have more players.
Thank y'all for coming.
We have more players.
Thank y'all for hearing us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it. The interest.
It will.
Well, as always, we want to say thank y'all for y'all's continued support of our programming. Just an update on the county cleanup day. We served over 308 people. We collected 525 cubic yards. We had over 60 volunteers from the Lions Club and adult probationers, and 6 adult probation officers out there to help move everything around. So that's a group effort between us and the city. Multiple offices from the county are used, and we had a successful program. We collected 525, and that ended up in any of y'all's ditches. And Power Days this Friday, so hopefully we'll keep some power out of the ditches too. And then they'll talk about 4-H. Thank you.
Hey, what do they do on the tractor tires? None?
We can take tractor tires. We can't take tracks.
Okay.
I had somebody call that asked about taking tracks off one of them. We're not allowed to take tracks.
Okay.
But we can take just about any size tire.
Okay.
Let me ask you, what about the tires at our county barn? We haven't got a whole lot. Y'all picked up the big lot that was left over from the last tire day.
If you have less than 100, we can bring them up there, but if you got more than 100, we can get those guys to come out.
Please do.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do
Yeah.
that. I'll get all
From
together.
last year, please do.
Yes.
All right.
Alright, so that's now going to cover some activities that we have done through the summer. We had a lot of successful summer camps. One of the first ones we had was Andrew leading crawfish camp. We had 19 participants and kids that attended. We had 4 adult volunteers, and we had a generous donation from Navarro College, letting us use the Navarro College bus to transport our kids to the fisheries and back. And so we're very appreciative of Navarro College for allowing that. I took the lead on cake camp, and we had 28 participants and 4 volunteers. And cake camp is in partnership with HEB, the bakery at HEB, and Amanda Dodds, the bakery manager there, brings her workers, and they help assist and teach a camp where the kids learn to do different decorating techniques. And so we've done this for several years in a row, and they do something different each year. This year they all made watermelon cakes and learned how to do that. Some other things that I was involved with this summer is I partnered with Corsicana Parks and Recreation and Deb Miller at Pioneer Village with a royal tea party where 4-H came in, and the Healthy Texas Youth Ambassadors helped with healthy snacks, and we did cucumber sandwiches, ice cream, and then we did some English-like exercise type activities with the kids. And then we also helped with a messy art activity where we provided my Healthy Youth Ambassadors helped with that again, and we provided healthy snacks where they did a food art, and then they did another art where they painted on a canvas or something. So we partnered together on that. There were 34 people attending the Royal Tea Party and 38 attending messy art camp. And then for adults over the summer, I had a Mediterranean cooking class out at Faith Lutheran Church, and taught about the different techniques of Mediterranean cooking, and I had 9 participants for that. As we can update us on more 4-H.
All right, so we had 2 other camps this summer, a science and a sewing camp, and between both of those, there was over 50 plus kids, plus probably 17 helpers altogether. We did all of our camps except for fisheries and crawfish at the Lone Star Cowboy Church. They let us go there and do everything for free as long as we have those kids come and clean up everything. So we went to state roundup this summer. This is our first time in a long time that we've had this many kids participate. We had 17 kids go to state roundup. 7 made the stage, so that's the top 3, and 1 won the state.
Wow.
So that's really big for us because we haven't had that in a long time for our program. This year we have 13 4-H clubs, which is another big record for us. We haven't had that in a while. At the end of the 4-H year, we had record highs in our curriculum enrichment numbers. We had, the last time I checked, Kelly's still working on putting all of them in. It was almost over 4,000 kids that were reached with our programming in the schools. And then we ended our 4-H year with, I mean, we've all done working as a team, and we've all linked in, and we got it down now, 200 4-H members, and then 27 adult volunteers to help us with all of our kids in our programming. So if it wasn't for you guys helping support us, we wouldn't be able to support the kids. So we just thank you very big.
Thank you.
What was the state championship in?
So foods.
food show. So it's Paris Sanchez. She is now at college. She came home this weekend for our 4-H banquet, which we had this weekend, and one of the biggest banquets as well. We've had our kids just really, really involved, and we're kind of hitting the ground running with them. We had 72 come, and we gave her a big senior gift, but she's a Terry Scholarship winner, so a full ride to Texas A&M for all 4 years. So
And she is also a state
FFA officer as well, so she's traveling and going to school at the same time. So she said the first week of college is real hard. So,
for those of you that don't know, the way our state roundup is similar to like UIL in the school, and they start at the county level and they compete at the county level, and then they move up to the district level and they compete at the district level, and they qualify for state and get to go to the state roundup in college state.
So she competed against kids at one state many, many years in a row, and she's never gone to state, and went in and knocked them all out of the park, and the judges couldn't stop talking to her the whole time. And then we do have 2 state record book qualifiers. We went to state, so we have one that got 2nd place in their poultry book, and then Paris again got 7th place in state with her food and nutrition book. So we're making big strides. We're doing good.
Great. Very well represented.
Thank you. We try really hard. They make us look good.
And we appreciate, once again, we appreciate your support of our program.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, doke. Number 19 is consideration of approving the order of appointment for election judges and alternates for September 1 of 23 through September 1 of 24. You doing this?
Yeah.
All righty.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and pass this around, so I can take it back with me. We worked alongside both the Republican Party and the Democrat Party to be able to assign each and every judge. There are a few vacancies though, but we're continuing to work alongside them to fill those. We're already starting up everything for the next election in November. Yeah. Everything's going good. We're working with all the new changes that are being placed into effect. They are changing a few things for us, but nothing too big.
Good deal.
Where are the vacancies?
Bears Den and Multi-Center.
Okay.
Student alternate for each one of those.
Any questions?
Okay, we need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion that we approve the order of appointment for election judges and alternates for September 1st, 2023 through September 1st, 2024.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Brewer, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
If people want to get involved, there's a way to get involved.
Yep. There we go.
Lots of questions.
Number 20 is consideration of approving Dolly Whitehead as the county clerk's OPR records management coordinator.
You know, we did Sandy a couple of weeks ago, and she's up in the criminal department, so now I'm making Dolly downstairs in the OPR. She's taking my retention schedule, going through there. If there's anything that we can possibly get rid of, she's going through there and taking care of that, because we're hopefully to be moving the storage building, and we're gonna see if there's anything that we can possibly, a lot of my stuff I have to keep permanently. I can't get rid of it, but if we can get rid of it, we're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, perpetual document storage. If you think it's bad now, give it 20 years. Yeah, we're gonna need to Kmart warehouse and put stuff in.
Yep.
Right.
All right, need a motion, please.
I make a motion that we approve Dolly Whitehead, the county clerk's OPR records management coordinator. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 21 is the consideration of declaring the Navarro County Sheriff's Office unit number 2691 and the equipment in it as salvage.
And I'll make a motion of declaring the NCSO unit 2691 and equivalent as salvage.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 22, consideration of declaring 12 VIX box inmate visitation monitors as salvage from the Navarro County Jail. Don't ask me, I don't have a clue what that is.
I'll make a motion that we declare 12 VIX box inmate visitation monitors as salvage from the Navarro County Jail. Whatever those are.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Brewer, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 23 is consideration of declaring 2 chairs and 1 printer desk as salvage from JP3.
What happens to this stuff? It goes on gov deals or something like that?
Yeah.
It just gets sold off.
I'll say, yeah.
I move that we declare 2 chairs. Actually, the list says 4 chairs. And one printer desk is salvage from JP3.
So are we going by this list then? Think about this instead of this, I'll make a change on.
You make a change on
Yeah,
that.
I'd say 4. That's what they put on there in this system.
That's just 4 office chairs and 1 printer desk. Right.
Might be a typo from.
Make the most of it.
Who knows? We'll check it out. Hey, if they're not there, they're not there. Right? They don't go anywhere. Okay, we vote on that yet?
Yes.
All right, so I'll make sure. 24 is consideration of approving a resolution between Navarro County and TxDOT for a replacement bridge on Northwest County Road 4340 at Frost Branch.
This is a bridge north of Frost, that I found out about before I became commissioner in January. It's a bridge that TxDOT approved for a TxDOT repair or rebuilding to take place sometime last year, in the last 2 years. After I became commissioner, I got notification that, or the first notification that I got that was there before I became commissioner, we were still considered an indigent county, an economically disadvantaged county. So our part on repairing that bridge was going to be around $5,000. I got a notice from one TxDOT person that was not going to take place until 2027, but it was still on the list. And I think that money was already paid. I'm not for sure. It's all real. When you get stuff from TxDOT, it's very sketchy, to say the very least. I got a notice from them about a month ago that bridge, they had come out and inspected it again, and they moved it up on the repair list because it was in such bad shape. There were some things rusting, some things of that nature. It wasn't on their worst list, their worst classification, that it needed immediate repairs, that it was dangerous, but they had moved it up a notch. And so I called the guy, talked to him for a few minutes that sent that notice. And I said, this is already on TxDOT's list to be repaired by TxDOT, to be rebuilt by them. He was not aware of that. Evidently, TxDOT has different groups doing different things. That was at the end of that. I said, okay, notify me of whatever needs to be done. He was going to contact the repair group, see if they can move those repairs up. In the meantime, just this last week, we get this resolution basically that says that they're going to fix it, they're going to rebuild it, and they're not going to charge us a dime. So they're going to pay for all of the repairs. This is even better. So the longer they wait, the better it gets for us, it looks like. So it's one of the statements. It says this project is approved for 100% federal and state funding through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, as well as the Highway Bridge Replacement and Rehabilitation Program. So I texted him yea, verily, yea. And so this is a resolution that the judge has to sign to accept that, for them to do that.
Okay, the motion's been made by Commissioner Brewer. Ask for a second, please.
Second.
Second made by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
You ever been driving down a dirt or a gravel road, dirt road in particular? I've got one. And there's a concrete bridge. TxDOT did it. And they're the masterminds behind when and where and how they're done. So.
Okay. Number 25 is consideration of approving an amendment to the jury management agreement with Tyler Technologies for the Navarro County court system. Sure.
This is
Oh,
for us to utilize the
I'm sorry.
gift card system versus handing out cash or handing, writing checks. Yes. Gift cards. If you go to your list from Josh, then we see it.
Now, right now, if there was a 100-person jury pool, it's $600. It's easy to keep petty cash. At $20 a pop, it's a $2,000 jury pool now. The same $600 was, now it's $2,000.
I heard one of y'all say like a jury duty, like $20 and $58.
Yep.
What is that? What is the $20 one?
That's showing up.
Just show up.
That's a jury
The
pool.
58 is
If they
for the
start.
13.
And it moves up from 40 to 58.
Wow. That starts when?
September first,
September?
September first.
So it's gonna work on this budget and roll into next budget. So, something
And
we
most
don't-
of the time we call 350, 400.
Yeah,
Now you may get only 85 show up, but still it's 85.
I
now
just
get
use the
I have a
100.
feeling we're gonna have a few more show up.
The word to get out.
Yeah.
Doing it for the money.
So now that this just clicked in my head, I kind of wonder if our jury. Not one up. Judge Davenport's jury,
Oh, yeah.
you know, your amount in your court, did it go?
Yeah, it's the same. It's gonna be the same in all of them.
In your court too.
Yeah,
It's
not,
just clicked in my head, right?
But not in this, I don't think it went up in the city though.
No, not for municipalities, just for county.
it's the county.
Just county.
Yeah. So I don't begrudge any jury member getting compensated for their time, especially those who are self-employed that have to come in that don't get paid those days. You know, but at the same time, it's gonna be a big burden on us that we're gonna have to deal with.
That's mandate.
Yeah, for a state that had how many billions in excess revenue money?
Yeah. About 35.
35 billion in excess revenue, the state does, and they're keeping it.
They say it's a rainy day for them. Well, it rained yesterday.
It's raining right now.
Early.
In Navarro County, it's raining right now.
All right, we need a motion on this number 25, folks.
I'll make a motion, we approve an amendment to the jury management agreement with Tyler Technologies for the Navarro County court system.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 26 is consideration of authorizing the county auditor to go out for annual bids for the fiscal year 2024. Need a motion for that, gentleman?
I move that we authorize the county auditor to go out for annual bids for the fiscal year 2024. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Terry, how long do they have to get those in once we send those packets out?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Number 27 is consideration of approving Xerox lease agreement for the Ag Extension Office.
It's chipping up, really. So,
Okay. Need a motion,
and
please?
it's a lot cheaper. The price decreased for the end.
I make a motion of approving the Xerox lease agreement for the Ag Extension Office. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 28 is consideration of approving to pay bills for Ag Extension Office without a purchase order on August 28th of 2023. Need a motion, gentlemen?
I move that we approve pay bills for the Ag Extension Office without purchase orders on August 28th, 2023.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. 29 is consideration of approving to pay bills for courthouse without purchase order on August 28th, 2023.
I'll make a motion, we approve the pay bills for courthouse without purchase order on August 2023.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 30 is consideration of approving to pay bills for Precinct 2 Road and Bridge without purchase order on August 28th of 2023.
I'll make a motion to pay bills for Precinct 2 Road and Bridge without purchase order on August 28th, 2023.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? None. Motion carries. Need one more motion.
I mean, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Brewer. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned. Thank y'all.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, let's put them, guys. What with this? On this one.
One right here, with the same one.
That's a different, yeah, go ahead.
One I'm sitting on. Technologies.
Appreciate you. Yes, sir. We can fix it.
Yep, we got two of them to sign.
Oh, okay.
They should have been able to use their tools and paper to do.
Sure.
The proclamation, same tax rate. Just wanted to check a couple of things. Tax rate went down. I just dropped my phone.
I'll get it for you.
Thank you.
I now if I can get up, if I get down there now. Okay, I'm actually gonna pick these up, guys. They were permanent pictures. So now you come down and go back to
Tax rate. Five 173. 243. 7 cents.
Thank you for, yes. Did you?
So crazy.
I had one over here. Hey, Mark, how are you?